So I just started reading Chainsaw Man. I don't even know where to start. Chainsaw Man's been a manga that's been on my TBR probably since I started getting into and reading manga. It was plastered everywhere. I think around the time I started getting into it, the trailer for the anime had come out. So I knew it was on a high list for a lot of people. At the time of this recording, I have read all the way from chapter 1 to chapter 12, which is essentially the intro and the Bat Devil arc. So that's where I'm at currently. In terms of these videos, I'm going to be doing arc by arc because I want to kind of record what I think so far, speculate, discuss, see if I was right as I go on. So without further ado, getting into Chainsaw Man, I knew of some things. I knew the guy turned into Chainsaw Man. That was it. That's as far as I knew. I knew there were characters who were very best girl list, and that is also true. In terms of the story and the way it presents itself is really cool. You have Denji, who is this kid who has a lot in life that is pretty shit. He has no eye, he sold one of his nuts, he sold a kidney because he is in crippling debt with the Yakuza because of his family. And this was not his choice, it was just how his life was when he was born. He meets Pochita, which is a little chainsaw devil dog, and through working together are able to keep each other alive and sustain each other. It's kind of really heartwarming at the beginning, and I feel so much in the shoes of Denji when he just dreams to have a life that is beyond what it is he has now. When he dreams to have a life of a normal Joe, honestly. Eating food that is just plain, just peanut butter and jelly. Going on a date with a girl. Even if I do live a normal life, I somewhat sympathize to the dream, whether or not how simple it is. Denji gets into circumstances where he is literally cut apart and killed, but Pochita uses the last drop of blood of Denji to then merge their bodies together. In this contract that we have bound together, all I need for you to do is show me your dreams. To which Denji's dream is many things. He discussed many things that he wanted to do if he could. Have a girl hold him, eat food, go out and explore. Denji is put into circumstances after meeting Miss Makima. Miss Makima is part of the public safety devil hunter program. Essentially people who enroll and have powers or no powers at all to fight devils and protect society as it is. It's based in normal everyday Tokyo, I'm pretty sure, just with devils as an odd occurrence that just happens. Sometimes they can be extremely harmful and just a nuisance. Other times they can literally destroy cities. And so Denji, with his newfound power of becoming the Chainsaw Man, having fused his body with little Pochita, he is enrolled and is kept as a weapon being used by them. It's interesting how he went from being a tool of the Yakuza trying to pay off his debt to being a tool of the public safety division. Having wanting to be free and live his own life, and now having his complete body restored, eye and everything else I hope together, he can now live that dream. But what I'm speculating now, as I've gotten to the last couple chapters in that arc, is it seems that Denji has taken himself from a very small cage into a little bit of a bigger cage. But regardless, he is in a way still trapped underneath a different boss, and is in a way still treated like an animal. Miss Makima is someone who seems to utilize her skills of persuasion to make Denji do things, because Denji is very simple in his goal at the very beginning at least. He want girlfriend, he want booba. That's it, boys, that's all we want. To a degree, if you're someone who was thinking about reading this and you're watching this, it sounds pretty stupid. It's also fucking hilarious. Imagine a shonen character who finally is close to their goal, but their goal is to save the world or become a hero, and they have that enthusiasm of finally becoming the best in some way. When Denji gets close to the point where he learns that, yeah, I'll be able to touch some boobs, he is ecstatic, like he just achieved the greatest speed run of all time. And it is a stupid goal, but what the goal represents is not that different from what everyday people, either you or I, depending on our goals, is different. He compares himself to Power and Hayakawa in terms of their dreams. Hayakawa wants revenge as his whole family were killed by devils. Everyday people want to protect their families. Power just wants her cat back. Whereas Denji, he feels that his dream, while it is small and insignificant and stupid to touch some breasts or to get a girlfriend and get laid, it's nonetheless a dream. And while his morals are still up in the air, he does care about people, but to an extent, still is vying for the goal. He saves power because he wants to touch breasts. That's it. And she herself says that's a pretty stupid reason to risk his life. But then again, he's lived his whole life not chasing a dream, not chasing a goal, just trying to get out of his debt, just trying to survive. But now he's in a state where he can choose to exact upon a goal, to exact upon a dream. I just hope later in the series it just becomes a bit more fleshed out. Let's not forget, this kid has been living majority of his young adult life underneath constant work and debt and fear of dying the next day and not being able to eat. So give him a break if his goals are pretty shallow at the first part, because hey, he wants to go out and experience what the world has to offer. He wants what he wants. And I think eventually Denji will start to realize maybe that there's more to it than just an average goal of booba. I see that near the end, of course, in the last chapter when Miss Makima seduces him a bit more and actually lets him touch her breast, because he at first feels like he was chasing it and it didn't really equate to what he wanted. And now he starts to realize that it's not a touching or an act of it. He wants connection. He clearly wants connection with Miss Makima. It's because of that he feels this real true sense of longing for her. Whether or not she is probably the best person for him, I'm going to assume her goals are not aligned with his goals. Her goals, I imagine, are to probably grow. We don't know a lot, but it seems as though her jurisdiction is very controversial, and she is adamant to make sure that her devils and her devil hunters are being used for the public's best interests. I don't think Denji very much cares about any of this, just as long as he gets to live his life, and that is it. To which, I honestly respect, and maybe it becomes a problem that he finds he put himself in. Maybe he'll realize he's just gone from one cage into the next, I'm not sure. But I can say for sure that I'm very enamored by the comedy and what little subtext there is between characters. Not only just Denji, Power. I find Power to be very interesting, despite being not that agreeable at the beginning, but slowly realizing that, hey, humans are very similar to me, and I do find connection with others. Even though it's just a cat, I do enjoy connection. The character designs, by the way, are really cool. Every character feels distinct and unique, and I love the style in which they're drawn. It kind of makes me remember like Gorillaz characters, the band. The way they're drawn, at least in Chainsaw Man, feels very distinct. The drawing can be very slick in terms of the backgrounds, but also the characters are extremely crude in the way they're drawn, and I think it just adds so much to them. Especially with the lack of dialogue and sometimes the dialogue used along with the visual. It can be hilarious and also somewhat very somber. I thoroughly enjoy what I've seen so far, and the action is awesome. Action's fucking sick. When he goes full Chainsaw Man mode, I love it. It's awesome. The way in which there is a lot of detail and the messiness, I'm a big fan of action like that. I think it's really cool. I don't think it needs to be extremely detailed. I think it's better off doing a crude drawing of everything. And I think it works the best in so many ways. And there is never a case where the paneling feels off. Feels like every panel flows into the next one, which I'm a big fan of. Listening to some certain music playlists I found on YouTube actually did gravitate more. I get a more feel of understanding what it is that the story is about, and I actually can't wait to watch the anime when I catch up a bit more to the manga. In terms of other characters, I really want to learn more about Hayakawa. I think his con ability of the wolf, the leech devil, is really cool. I want to learn more about the rules of the world. I want to learn more about the way the world works. I want to understand what other problems there are out in the world, because this is just one country of the entire world. Is this Tokyo specific, or is this worldwide? Stuff I really want to know more of. I want to learn more backstory about Denji. I want to learn more about who his family was. I want Denji to learn more about himself. I want him to chase other dreams that maybe he feels, you know what, this is one goal I've achieved and it was pretty insignificant when I look back. Maybe I'll achieve another one. It does seem stupid and ridiculous and extremely gory and shonen hype, but regardless, it's a story about a kid trying to achieve his goals and achieve his dreams, and him trying to figure it out, and you know what? I'm a sucker for that, and I love it. I think the characters all really flow extremely well. No character feels the same. Hayakawa hates being just around devils, hates that he has to work with a devil in order to kill devils. Denji is just trying to find out what it is about the world that he likes. He's very simplistic in the fact that he didn't have a proper education, but at the same time, it's endearing to have someone who thinks in a very simple way, because the world is so complex. He's kind of like a Forrest Gump character in a way, coming into the world and showing people that a very simple way of looking at the world can actually help you live a better life. Don't know a lot about Miss Makima, but hey, you know, we'll find out. I can see the appeal of Miss Makima. I do like her more than Power, I'll admit, but I am very much ready for her to turn a leaf straight away. Power's really cool in terms of just her ferocity. I imagine seeing a deeper side to her along with Denji will be really cool. I hope that the characters do eventually bond. I'd love for the fact that these characters who all dislike each other very much to slowly grow accustomed to each other. People love the story of enemies turned to lovers. I love the idea of enemies to friends as well. The way, of course, Denji and Hayakawa bounce off each other great, especially after have that fight in the alleyway of, yes, he was attacked by a testicle devil, and he's like, that's not a thing, he is lying. It's just so ridiculously funny. And coming from such a very, very dark and gritty world is extremely refreshing. The typical seinen or slash shonen premise of having a dark world with a character that can bring hope is funny because there's already comedy in this world. Despite it being extremely dark and unfair, there is still the show of comedy. I admire Denji in terms of how he is able to just be himself. I hope that he gets a bit more moralistic, especially not throw as many people in cars. But hey, I could be totally wrong and maybe he goes down that road even further. I don't know. But regardless, I am loving this. It's so cool. And I hope to start reading the next bunch of chapters after I finish this video. In terms of my predictions, Denji is told next to go kill the Gun Devil. I assume he will succeed in some fashion. It's the only way for Miss Makima to progress, I guess, in the story as well. And Denji has a goal now to achieve, a new one to achieve. He's got step 1 down, now he wants to get to step 2, something else, something more. And you know what, I can see how this gets branded as essentially the incel manga. But regardless, I think it's pretty cool as long as Denji doesn't become a shallow piece of shit and actually grows as a human being. Doesn't really matter, makes his character worth watching and worth rooting for if he can grow. And that's what I'm excited to see. I honestly feel like I don't know too much to make predictions on what else will happen next besides whether or not he will succeed against this next villain. I imagine there are much bigger devils to go out there and fight, and I guess that's something that will be interesting. I hope Denji is put into a situation with Hayakawa where they find the devil that Hayakawa lost his family to. And that would be a pretty cool moment for Denji to maybe step up and say, hey, I give a shit. That'd be really cool. But that's all you got from me, guys. So that's what I think so far of Arc 1 of Chainsaw Man. I'm going to, as soon as this is done, start reading next arc and hopefully catch up and get to the part 2 that everyone's talking about. Anyway, thank you for watching, especially to the end. Let me know if you liked the video. My name is Mugen. As always, have a good one.